We talked about the Indianapolis Colts yesterday. We talked about the upsetting injury of Daniel Jones rupturing his Achilles and being out for the season, and asking, is the Indianapolis Colts in trouble? And of course they're in trouble. They are definitely in trouble, starting off their season 7-1 and potentially might finish the year out of the playoffs. And we talked about how Riley Leonard is going to probably be the answer because he came in during the game. Now we're hearing that Riley Leonard is also injured. There's also issues with Riley Leonard. So who do you turn to? It's not Ghostbusters, no, but it might be a ghost of Colts past, and that's Phillip Rivers. He turned 44 yesterday, and Adam Schefter reports with Daniel Jones out for the year and Riley Leonard, which is currently, quote, week for week with a strained knee ligament. That sounds a lot worse than week to week, to be honest with you. The Colts are going to work out quarterback Phillip Rivers today. And first of all, 44 years old. Are you kidding me? He hasn't played in, almost half a decade. He's going to come on back. This is a fact. He hasn't played in 5 NFL seasons. Do you know how I know that without actually looking at stats? He is currently a NFL Hall of Fame finalist. You have to be out of the NFL for 5 years. If he comes back and plays one snap, his entire clock resets, and he for getting in the Canton. We won't see him potentially get in the Canton until 2031. If you're 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, who has, who is literally getting ready to film the next sequel of Cheaper by the Dozen with all the kids he has, are you ready? Are you ready to come back and play for the Indianapolis Colts?
Well, by my count, he's going to be the second grandpa to be a quarterback in the NFL. So, I mean, there is a little bit of road work paved for him. I believe the other one was Brett Favre in like 2010. So, I mean, that's a pretty good quarterback there. I am curious to see what Phillip Rivers would be capable of. I'm not doubting him at all, but it has kind of been a while since he played. And I would say even in the time since Phillip Rivers was a quarterback, the style of the NFL has changed quite a bit. Like there is going to be a bit of a learning curve as far as how the NFL is played out. Like you want to look at the bigger picture, like a wider range all the way back to like when Tom Brady was kind of the man. How does football look compared to then? That's a huge change. Obviously 5 years isn't quite as grandiose, but Rivers is going to come in. They're going to do this whole workout and they're going to really see if it fits. I don't know if you're the Colts, I don't think this is your play. I'm going to be honest. I mean, they saw success with Joe Flacco, right? Just a few years ago came in for the Colts, and like that's an older quarterback, but I don't think you go the 44-year-old route here. I think you grab someone off of waivers that was, undrafted or whatever, and give them a chance, try to find a diamond in the rough. I don't think you patch a Band-Aid on it this way.
The one name that comes to mind when you think of super old quarterbacks, I think the oldest quarterback to ever play in the NFL was George Blanda. I think that's the guy that was the oldest one. But you're right. I don't think this is the play. I mean, if you're trying to get yourself to the playoffs, and obviously that is the goal, you don't have any draft capital in the first couple of rounds to tank the rest of the way and get yourself a better capital asset. Like that doesn't do anything for you. You want to get to the playoffs. You want to hit that check in the box and continue moving forward with this franchise. I don't think Phillip Rivers is the right move. Do you know what I think is the right move? I think the right move is either one or two options. They're both on the exact same team. Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston to ask for their unconditional release and sign with the Indianapolis Colts. That's what I think is the right move.
I mean, I am a personal subscriber to watching Jameis every single season. Anytime he becomes the starter, I become one of the biggest fans of that team. So I would not be upset with Jameis Winston from a personal level, but also I think he's one of the better quarterbacks out there. And Russell Wilson certainly has shown that he's capable of still being a decent quarterback. I wouldn't say necessarily a high level quarterback, but if you're Indianapolis, you're not going to get a high-level quarterback at this time in the year. You're not going to end up with some. I mean, I guess Phillip Rivers could end up being like Tom Brady, be the craziest return of all time. And I also think this thought just popped in my head. If Phillip Rivers does come back, he's going to be damn good. Like, he's not going to come back and reset his clock if he's like 50-50. From his standpoint, he's only going to come back if he's legitimately got it. So I guess if you're the Colts, there's that to be excited about. But I think that they have to set their level of expectation to one where you're probably not going to find your next career quarterback. I mean, if you do, great, but I don't think that's in the cards right now.
Well, I think Daniel Jones is the future. I think you just need a stopgap for the next 4 games and potentially 5 or 6 if you can make the postseason. But yeah, the more and more we continue to talk about it, Jameis Winston on the Colts would be fun. I mean, what's that that quote he says? The horse is prepared for battle. He would literally sign with a horse team. Like he
It'd be
would be the
perfect.
horse prepared for battle. Like this is perfect. Why is this not the story? Why is Jameis Winston not being asked for a release and going to be the horse prepared for battle? Like this is a perfect moment. What are we doing here? If it happens, you've heard it here first on Marvin Round in the morning that Jameis Winston should be the Colt. But there's a couple other quarterbacks in the league that would just make sense. Obviously, Russell Wilson, we saw him fade out. We saw that happen with the Giants, and their season's over. Marcus Mariota, their season's over. Jaden Daniels obviously having issues, but he's been up and down. There's a couple other quarterbacks inside of this entire league that could probably be like, hey, I want to get one more shot at it, but this team is just completely, shot. Give me one more go at it. The ones that come to mind right away are definitely the two in New York. Of course, you can always bring up Joe Flacco too. Joe Flacco went to the start of the Browns, went to the Bengals to fill in for Joe Burrow. He knows how to fill in the teams. He could be a guy that goes to Indianapolis. Joe Flacco would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think this is an opportunity where you can kind of, I don't know if would you go so far as to say like a Baker Mayfield type of situation where you can come on as like he did with the LA Rams and just light it up really quick. Maybe you don't have to like win a playoff game, but certainly show that you can come into a system and you can be moldable and be successful, and then you can kind of revitalize your career. I wonder if that's something where this is an opportunity that you have a decent team around you. Obviously, this team started really, really strong, and the expectations I don't know if are ridiculously high. I think you can come in and kind of just let it fly, be yourself, and end up having a revitalizing career moment. I feel like that'd be pretty sick for one of these young guys.
Yeah, 100%. If you could find that, there's no doubt about that. It's not like you can trade. This is December 9th. It's not like you can make any trades. You got to ask for either make a release or you have to ask for unconditional release, all that good stuff. Then you got to go through waivers. But if I'm any team right now that is below the Colts in waivers, Jameis Winston or Russell Wilson or one of these other guys, Joe Flacco, go on waivers, I'm not claiming them. I'm not doing that. Even if it's to try and like block out them from going to the Colts. Like I'm just not doing that. I'm not wasting that spot. I'm letting that go through. And the Colts are probably in the middle of the pack when it comes to waivers right now because of their recent losing streak. Phillip Rivers is the quarterback that last played in the playoff game for the Colts. I think that's the reason why they're going back and they're trying to go back to the well, see if it works. But I think there are better options out there. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, a couple of names that I'm just looking at right here, like Sam Ehlinger, Taylor Heineke, Trevor Siemian, even Tannehill or Hendon Hooker, all names that like obviously Tannehill's a little older, but all those other names I think fit into that mold of haven't really seen the success we thought they could have yet, other than maybe Heineke.
Heineke got Washington to a playoff game when they were
that
not
run with Washington was very magical. I was a fan of that. I actually built a specific like graphic of like a Heineken logo with Heineke's name on it because I was such a big fan of what he was doing over there. But all of those guys, I feel like, are in that boat where you could jump in, you can see success, and you can get your name put right back on the map. Like, I don't think that this is a job that is going to be really tough to fill. Like, I do think that this Colts team is a desirable location. It's just going to be from the Colts perspective. Can they find somebody who will do what they need them to do?
Yeah, I'm excited to see that. Taylor Heineke, by the way, Old Dominion legend. So don't think I don't know the lore of Taylor Heineke.
Love that guy.
I am excited to see what happens here because something obviously has to happen. They're not gonna, they got to do something here. And Phillip Rivers, if he's the guy, great, because maybe the playoff game sponsored by AARP. I mean, that'd be fun, So a lot of cool things that can be opened here. NFL open to marketing opportunities. Obviously, that's the case for sure.
Yeah.